title is Youth Development Coordinator, which means basically that I am a professional geek and spend a lot of time with young people, helping them explore science, learn to teach science, and learn it themselves. I studied chemistry at the undergraduate level and worked in laboratories for several years. I really like the designing the experiments, the exploring the experiments, the talking about them, but the years of repetitive tasks were not really my skill set. They didn't match what I love to do best. And so after a few years of doing that, I decided to search for a career where I would get to do more of the explaining and the exploring. And after working at a couple different museums and in schools, I figured out that that was working with young scientists, helping them figure out their own experiments, try new things, see things they'd never seen before, and learn all the skills around scientific reasoning and science exploration. So I am really interested and always have been in the nitty-gritty of how the world works. You look out in nature, you look at this blue sky, you look at the leaves changing in the fall, whatever it is, and there's something going on that we can't see. And I always wanted to know what that was. And I was kind of a know-it-all about it too. When I learned something, I told everybody what that was. I realized pretty fast that most of the way that we teach science in school is often a lot of learning and memorizing out of books. And that didn't really match up with my experience of what it was like to be a scientist in a professional setting or a research setting, and that we needed more hands-on work and more scientists in the classroom actually experiencing the process of science with kids. And so in the museums, it seemed to me a great opportunity. Most museums have laboratory classrooms, like the one we're sitting in right now, or they have demonstrations or live experiments, and so that's a really great place for lots of different people, kids, parents, families, whoever, to experience what experimental science looks like on the other side. It's fun. It's fun for me, it's fun for my students, and I think it really teaches something beyond the facts and figures that kind of drive science education in the classroom, which are really important to learn, but there's a moment where you are figuring something out for the first time, you're messing up and trying again, you're driving through an experiment, and that perseverance, that discovery, and that kind of wow moment is something that you just really don't get outside of an experiment. And so getting to do that over and over and over again with lots of different learners, sometimes for the first time, is just too fun to quit. When I was in high school, I had a chemistry teacher who was really passionate about the process and about the thinking and about the figuring it out. Way beyond getting an A on the test, she wanted us to be able to work through the problem, do it independently, and kind of figure things out on a really deep level. And I'd never encountered that before, and it was addictive. And so working with her and then working with teachers later on gave me kind of that insight into what it could be like and what it should be like for every student. And so I really think that got me on my way. I teach a couple of our classes, including a chemistry class for upper elementary students, so 4th and 5th grade. And sometimes when we're done, they're like, wait, is being a chemist really about lighting stuff on fire and dissolving things in chemicals? And I'm like, yeah, it totally is. And they get really excited. And even more than that, they get excited that they can make predictions and figure stuff out that they've never ever seen before. Without memorizing, without kind of diving deep or having to know all the book learning, they get to use their reasoning skills. And when they get to do that, sometimes, yeah, they come out on the other side going, this is what I'm going to do. Thinking about any science, especially chemistry, as just one narrow band is not really how it is once you get beyond school. So you take a chemistry class and that's all you're learning and you're learning just chemistry. But when you get out into a professional setting or even just kind of exploring the world around you, chemistry is in your kitchen, it's in your bathroom, it's in your grocery store, it's in your doctor's office, and it's everywhere outside. So don't limit yourself to just what you think it is. Keep doing experiments, keep exploring, keep asking what makes things tick. And that's at the core of what science and of what chemistry, which chemists call the central science, we think it's very important, is everywhere. So keep asking questions and then always be ready to dive a little deeper. If something is interesting to you, I bet you that there's a really cool reason or way you can understand it just underneath the surface.